Smackdown is awful. Smackdown has been awful for months. And this was no different. This show sucks. This is literally the worst show of the week next to Dynamite. Take your pick. They're both A1, A2. 101 and 102, right? They're both bad. They are literally the worst wrestling shows of the entire week. Literally. Hands down. Bar none. This show sucks, man. It sucks. Nothing on this show happened that I really cared anything about. It was boring throughout. And a lot of these feuds in the mid-card need to be done. You need to end Damien Priest and Aleister Black. That feud needs to end. It needs to end on the first Smackdown of the new year. That feud cannot go on past that. It has to end. Aleister Black has been back in WWE for 8 months. He came back on the Smackdown after Mania 8 months ago. And he's done nothing since. And he's in a no-nothing feud with Damien Priest, and it's going nowhere fast. Ilya Dragunov continues to do the U.S. Open Challenge, and he has no feuds lined up. There have been no call-ups for the main roster for Raw or SmackDown yet. I would assume Trick Williams is probably going to show up on the first SmackDown of the year. But what do you do with Trick Williams? I think the only thing you can do with Trick Williams is, I would say, have him be the one to dethrone Ilya Dragunov at some point as U.S. champion. Or you could put him and Mello as a tag team. But those are the only two options that you have for Trick Williams. But Trick Williams should have already been on the main roster. Last Legend, his fiance, she's been there for about a month and a half. If I'm not mistaken, I think she came up to the main roster, I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks before Survivor Series. So she's been on the main roster for about a month and a couple weeks. Yeah, about a month and a half. But, I mean, SmackDown is just, it's boring. It's boring. It's nothing to sink your teeth into. No one cares about the main event feud of Cody and Drew. That has to end as well. That needs to end on the first SmackDown of the year. That's got to end. That can't progress to the Royal Rumble. So I'm hoping on the first SmackDown of the new year, they end their feud either by doing like an I Quit match, lose or leave SmackDown, or something. You gotta end this feud. This feud cannot go on to the Royal Rumble. This thing cannot go on late into January. It can't. It can't. I don't know, man. I really don't know, guys. I don't know. And SmackDown's going to get even worse when it moves to 3 hours. Because we all know most 3-hour shows are filler. I mean, you can get a couple of decent moments out of a 3-hour show if it's booked right, but for the most part, most 3-hour shows are just filler. Always have been. It's nothing there. It's just to add on maybe 1 or 2 more matches to the card, and that's it. There's no story. There's no characters. It's just the extra hour of television. Let's just go ahead and get into SmackDown from December the 19th, 2025, the final SmackDown of the year. So we kicked the show off with Damien Priest. He doesn't say anything. He just puts over John Cena and all the stuff that he's done for the promotion. And then he gloats about himself. He talks about Rhea Ripley getting a win over Zelina Vega and Aleister Black last week. So He's looking forward to 2026. Zelina Vega shows up. She calls Damien Priest a hypocrite for getting Rhea to fight his battles for him. So Aleister Black shows up. The two of them, they have a brawl. Aleister Black delivers a Meteora through the table, taking out Damien Priest. Then Aleister Black attacks Damien Priest once again, right before the first match of the night, which was Last Legend and Nia Jax. They brawled some more. He threw Damien Priest into the parking garage. He ended up hitting a black mass, and that was all she wrote. And he also hit Damien Priest with a shovel. Okay, again, what the hell are they fighting over? And this feud has got to end. This is a pointless, no-nothing feud. Once this feud is over with for Aleister Black, you've got to move him up the card. You've got to. There is no point in keeping him where he's at. He's been there for 8 months. You got to do something with Aleister Black. Or, if you don't have any plans for him on SmackDown, send him over to Monday Night Raw. You got to do something with Black. You got to. Moving on. First match of the night. Last Legend and Nia Jax. They defeat Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. Who gives a damn? It's not that important. And then post-match, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, they show up and they have a brawl with Nia Jax and Last Legend. I don't care about this shit at all. This is lame. Just make a Fatal 5-Way with all the teams that you have involved, and the problem will be solved. Just do that. Please do that shit. Moving on. So, we get a video of Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre. They're meeting at McIntyre's house. Nick Aldis says that Cody Rhodes wants Drew to be reinstated. Then he says that he has a proposal for Drew McIntyre. So, McIntyre is going to be granted another shot at the WWE Undisputed Championship as long as McIntyre apologizes to the referee he attacked, and he has to pay a hefty fine. So, Drew declines the offer, says it's because Nick Aldis wants, he says that he wants to pick this proposal. It's because he wants to pick the stipulation for Cody Rhodes and him. He documents saying that Cody Rhodes can't lay a finger on him before the title match unless he wants to be stripped of the title. So Nick Aldis agrees to McIntyre's terms. So Cody Rhodes shows up at Drew McIntyre's house, and the two of them, they brawl. And police break it up. Okay, cool. Who gives a damn? Moving on from this. Julia defeats Alba Fire. I don't care about this nonsense. Who cares? She wins via the Northern Lights bomb. Drew McIntyre, my bad. Cody Rhodes shows up. He talks about Drew McIntyre and everything else. He questions what would be a safe work environment for Drew McIntyre. So, Cody says him showing up at Drew McIntyre's home and the brawl that they got into is just 1/10 of what Drew McIntyre deserves. So Nick Aldis shows up. He gives Cody the stipulation that McIntyre wants. He says that he's going to lift Drew McIntyre's suspension. It's just that Cody Rhodes can't lay a finger on McIntyre. If he does, he'll be stripped of the title. Cody Rhodes says that he thinks that he forgot who Nick Aldis was talking to. And then he just puts over what he's done for the last couple of years, and that was it. I don't care about this crap at all. Moving on, this leads us into Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov. They defeat DIY. Match was pretty decent, pretty good stuff. Carmelo Hayes is getting over. He is getting a reaction, which is great. I'm loving Carmelo Hayes. Him being babyface is okay. Although when he was on NXT, he was a heel, and that's when he did his best work. But babyface Carmelo is something that I'm interested in, if we're being honest. Again, you could kind of put Trick and Mellow gang back together if you make it, creative and stuff. But I don't know. But that's the only thing that you could do with Trick and Mellow. But like I said before, you could have Trick be the one to show up. Let's say they do Carmelo and Dragunov on the first Smackdown of 2026. And then you have Trick Williams show up and cost Carmelo, and you could immediately ignite that feud. So I think that would be great. You still have Trick be, the heel, and you could at least put them in a feud. That's what I would do. So we'll have to wait and see how that stuff plays out. Moving on from that. So, Jade Cargill, she's attacked backstage by a kendo stick from Michin. And then officials in BFAB, they separate things. Clearly, this is going to set up for BFAB's heel turn eventually. It'll probably happen on the first SmackDown of the new year. Who gives a damn? But that's fine. Main event of the evening, I didn't watch it. It was a no contest between the Wyatt Sicks and the MFTs. I don't give a damn about this shit. This is so filler. This is just filler garbage. This is just nonsense. I am over this lame-ass storyline. I'm over it. I'm totally over it. I am just flabbergasted that this shit still continues. Neither team is over. The Wyatt Sicks has been on SmackDown for at least a year. At least a year. Maybe a little over a year. But it's gone nowhere. It's gone nowhere at all. Like, what is the point of this? What is the point of this? The Wyatt Sicks as a faction sucks. It's failed. It has failed. Man. This was just an awful show. This was an awful show. They're going to have to empty the chamber of NXT call-ups for Raw and SmackDown going into 2026. They're going to have to bring up Fatal Influence, at least 2/3 of the faction, JC Jane and Fallon Henley. They're ready to go. You can put them on Raw or SmackDown. You can bring up Obafemi. You can put him on Raw or SmackDown. He'll be fine either way. Although I wouldn't bring up Obafemi in January. I'd bring him up in around April after Mania. So yeah, bring him up around that time frame in April of next year. Trick Williams is prepped and ready. He's ready to go. He hadn't been on NXT in like 2 or 3 weeks, so he's just sitting there waiting for his call up. I would assume he probably shows up the first SmackDown of the new year. You could also bring up Ricky Saints. I do think that he'll be on the first Raw of the new year, January 5th. I think he'll play a part in Braun Breaker defeating CM Punk to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. That makes sense. That would get Ricky massive heat, and it would make the Vision the most the most dominant faction of heels on the main roster. But you got to bring up call-ups. SmackDown going to 3 hours is laughable. Again, we've been there. We've done that. I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably just watch maybe either 2 hours or just 2.5 hours, and then call it a day, call it a night. So I don't know, man, but this show is awful. SmackDown has been trash for 95% of the year. I'm not interested in any of the feuds that they've got going on, any of the stories that they're trying to tell. It's just a waste of time. I'm not into Cody and McIntyre. I'm not into that, right? That feud has got to end before the Royal Rumble. And I forgot that the Royal Rumble is in Saudi. So are we going to have Sami Zayn win? I don't know. I don't even know who wins the Royal Rumble outside of Sami Zayn. I don't know, man. But SmackDown is just, it's awful. It's literally awful. It's literally no point to even watch the show anymore, really. Like, SmackDown is where AEW is. It's taken a massive downward spiral. And I don't know how you make it better. I really don't. I don't know how you can make it better. Even if you bring up call-ups, like Trick Williams and guys like that and other people, I have no hope for those guys on the main roster. I have no hope for those guys. I hate to say that, but I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm scared what's going to happen to Trick Williams. Again, the only thing that you can do with Trick Williams is just either feud him with Mello, or you could either feud him with Ilya and bring back Trick and Mello gang, or you could have Trick and Carmella feud, right? Those are the only options that you have for Trick Williams. You're not going to push Trick Williams up the card. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do with Trick, really. I really don't. And Cody needs to lose. He needs to lose the title next year to Randy. Speaking of Randy, where the fuck is Randy Orton at? Where is he? We haven't seen him in months. Where's Randy? Unless Randy shows up on the first SmackDown of the year and beats the shit out of Cody Rhodes, leaves him laying, we gotta do something with this Cody and Orton feud that they're trying to build. I don't know, man. I really don't know what you do. I don't know. But SmackDown is just pathetic. It's literally just a laughable show. And it going to 3 hours next year ain't going to help. I don't know how you make SmackDown better. I really don't. But what did you guys think of SmackDown? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.